It's a very rough surface. And the idea there is that we want to slow traffic down as much as possible as people drive through this area.
Good idea. So what is over here?
Over here, this will also be part of the brickyard. Then once we progress to this area right over here is where you'll see the entrance to the amphitheater and the arena. The amphitheater building is covered, has a 70,000 square foot roof system over it with skylights that will allow natural light to be able to come through. In addition to music and other types of entertainment events, we anticipate that we'll also be able to have boat shows and car shows and other types of craft shows and things that can take place in here underneath that roof system.
Interesting.
During the winter, we'll have an ice skating rink that'll be set up for the children. So it's a very, very multi-purpose facility that we're creating right here at the center of Tallahassee.
I just can't wait for it to be done.
We'll be done soon.
Well, that's me right there, fourth from the back. You know, when I first did that commercial, it was just a job. Well, I live in this community too. I put my pants on one leg at a time, just like you. Now I realize just how much runoff can affect our drinking water. We're all a part of this community, so what one of us does has an effect on all of us. That's what this campaign is all about, finding out what each one of us can do to stop our own personal pollution. TAP. Every drop you lose, nature finds.
In addition to the amphitheater and all of the entertainment components that we have and the retail, we're going to have 20 new restaurants. This will be one of the 20 new restaurants that we'll have here at the center of Tallahassee. As you can see, we're reusing the concrete floor and the steel structure, the fire suppression systems, many of the electrical components. As many things as we possibly can. We salvage the glass and aluminum systems that we'll reuse.
So what are these things over here?
Well, one of the things that we could not reuse because they weren't here are the grease traps that are necessary for restaurants. And this was the installation of one of the grease traps that we put in 11. And we had to excavate down 20 feet and put a rather large 1,500-gallon concrete vault container that goes down into the ground. And what that's used for is that when they're washing dishes and washing pots and pans and washing the floor, all of those drain systems have to drain into this grease trap first so that it captures and separates the grease from the water so that when it discharges into the sewer system for the city, it's clean. Then periodically, depending on how much grease the restaurant introduces into the system, they bring in then a truck that goes in and then pulls the grease out of the grease trap.
Interesting. Well, that definitely saves those outgoing pipes from getting all that oil and grease built up on them.
Yes, and it helps also to clean up the effluent that's going into the city sanitary system so that those can have better longevity and have a better clean water product that goes back into the city water system.
All right, so where do we go from here?
Well, we have to step down and walk across. As you can see, something we've also done is we have been dealing with some suitable and some unsuitable soil components on this project. This was an area where we had a large amount of what's called in this area pipe clay. And what we have done in working in conjunction with our geotechnical engineering firms is we have been analyzing this material, we've been using it in places where it would be suitable, and then we have also been mixing this pipe clay material with other very good sandy type soil materials that then make it usable so that we don't have to haul it off and throw it away. We can then reuse it into the project.
That's great because that is a big deal, hauling dirt away via our streets and getting it out there, isn't it?
Well, it is, and Not only is it the impact that it has to the city infrastructure and the streets and the traffic, but it also has an impact on taking the resources that are here in Tallahassee, more particularly sand, which is used a lot to replace unsuitable material, where they just say, well, let's just haul that off and let's just haul in good sand. What we are doing is we are actually finding a way to manipulate the materials that we have here on site to mix them together to make them suitable for their intended purpose.
Interesting. So what else do we have to look at? So overall, how structurally sound was this building?
This building was very well built. We have dug around a lot of the foundations to explore exactly what size they were. We have found all of them to be adequate even for today's codes. The reason we have to study the foundations in this area is this was once an enclosed store, and now this is going to be an open entertainment plaza. So the uplift pressures on the building change when it's going to be an open to remain open structure. So we had to go in and excavate around like the open pit you see at the column over here, so that we could dig down and actually see the size of the foundations that were there to determine if they were large enough.
It just seems like overall, once you change an interior wall to be an exterior wall, there's just so many more things it opens up.
A lot of different forces are acting upon it when you do that. But what's so neat about this is this entire area is going to be the amphitheater. And in addition to this area that's going to be open as part of it, another 70,000 feet is going to have a new roof system that's going to be built leading all the way back to a 100-foot wide stage that'll be back on the north side.
So I see some of the stores are staying here.
Yes, in the area where the massive demolition is taking place, we have kept 2 stores open and operating. One is the Barnes & Noble booksellers, and the other one is the Guitar Center. And they have worked with us on all of the activities that we've had to take place, and we've been able to get that done with a minimum amount of disruption to their business. In addition, there are 650,000 square feet of operating tenants at the mall that is not part of the reconstruction area. That includes the AMC Theater, which is this year under a major renovation to completely redo all 20 theater screens that they have there. The 2-story Belt department store is also going to have a major renovation this summer, so that they'll be ready for next fall. In addition to those 2 stores, then we have all those hundreds of thousands of square feet of other tenants that have stayed open and operating while we have been doing all of this work on this side of the property.
Wow. It's definitely interesting to see that Barnes & Noble can stay open and operating while you guys are doing so much work right close to them.
Yes, but we have built temporary walls, and we've put up partitions, and we've built temporary emergency egress corridors for them, and we have taken all the measures for safety that would be necessary, that if they had some type of an event inside the store, they still have a means of egress. And so we've kept them in good order through the entire process.
So you're already building relationships. That's so awesome. Now, you mentioned safety. What are some of the things you guys are doing to keep people safe as everybody works in here?
Well, safety is job one. And fortunately, we've made it through 50% of the project, and a good bit of the demolition has already been done. We have not had any accidents. What we do relative to safety is every week we meet with the contractors and we have a safety meeting with them to talk about the upcoming activities that's going to be taking place and the activities of the other contractors that are working on the site as well, so we can exchange what our schedules are, and then we talk about the safety procedures that will be implemented during the activities that are taking place that week. And then every morning, the individual crews have their own safety toolbox meetings where they go back through what they're going to be doing that day to make sure that they've got the proper tools and safety gear and procedures in place so that they know they're going to be able to do that without anyone getting hurt.
And it looks like it's working.
Well, it does work if you continue to have a tremendous amount of emphasis on it. And one thing that I am very proud to mention is that all of our contractors that are working here at the center of Tallahassee are local contractors. So we have not had to go out of the city to bring in workers. So therefore in essence, we're utilizing the resources that the city of Tallahassee has right here.
Well, that tour was really awesome. Thank you so much for taking time to take me out here, and I'm just amazed at the amount of changes in such a short time.
Well, I had a pleasure doing it, and hope that you'll come back and let us show you more of what we're doing here as we bring the amphitheater to life.
Well, thanks so much, Bruce. I am looking forward to coming back.
You're welcome, Missy.
And thanks for joining us on this edition of EcoSmart. Stay tuned, we've got a lot more to see out here. For WCOT, I'm Missy Tuttle.